Hello everyone, I am Sainath Chaitanya, Assistant Professor in Department of ECE, RGKT Basar. I am dealing with the microcontroller interfacing laboratory. We do have also Dheeraj sir, H4D and Assistant Professor in Department of ECE, and with Rajkumar sir, Assistant Professor in Department of ECE. We have here the lab assistants, Mr. Rajkiran Gupta sir, and as well as the Rajkiran sir. They will be supporting you in operating the software tool as well as the hardware demonstration.
Hello sir, hello students, good morning. So myself Rajkiran Gupta, I am dealing with this microcontroller laboratory, my lab assistant here, and we will be dealing with tool flow as well as hardware part. Thank you. And this is Rajkiran sir.
Hello students, my name is Rajkiran. I am dealing with microcontroller lab along with Rajkiran Gupta sir. We are helpful for doing experiments for coding programs in the microcontroller lab. Thank you.
For entering into the lab experiments, we need to have some awareness on the microcontroller 8051. So what is this 8051? This 8051 is a microcontroller which was introduced by the Intel company in the late 1970s. Priorly we had the 8031 microcontroller, but there was an absence of on-chip ROM. So due to this drawback, the Intel had introduced one more microcontroller, that is 8051, which is equipped with on-chip memory, that is it consisting of on-chip RAM as well as on-chip ROM. So this is the specialty why we are using 8051 instead of 8031. We all are having a good knowledge on 8085 as well as the 8086 microprocessors in your previous semesters. That means this 8085 microprocessor is having 8-bit data bus and 16-bit address bus. This is the well aware of thing. And coming to the 8086 microprocessor, it is having 16-bit data bus and 28-bit address bus. Okay. So these are the bus specification for the 8085 as well as the 8086 microprocessor. But coming to here, we are having the 8051 microcontroller. So this 8051 microcontroller is it is of 8-bit microcontroller. We are going to say this 8051 as a 8-bit microcontroller. Why? Because this 8-bit microcontroller is having 8-bit data bus capacity. That means the data bus is of 8-bit size. Along with we are having 16-bit address bus. 16-bit address bus. And what are the differences between the microprocessors and microcontrollers is, I can say that a microcontroller is nothing but small, low cost or mini computer that is present inside a single chip. But a microprocessor is nothing but a single chip that is only a microprocessor itself, only a single chip. But coming to a microcontroller, it is a chip that equipped with, apart from the microprocessor, we are having some other peripherals, like we are having, let me draw here. This microprocessor is, I said it is a single chip. This single chip is having ALU unit, control unit, some on-chip registers. But coming to the microcontroller, we are having a different number of blocks here. That means one of the main block is 8051 is equipped on its own chip is a processor unit, a memory unit which may be an on-chip RAM or on-chip ROM, timers or counters. We are also having some serial ports, interrupts, and clock generating circuit. So all these things, whenever these are equipped on a single chip, we call it as a microcontroller. So the main difference here, we are having a microprocessor and a microcontroller is, microcontroller is including the processor, apart from which I am having the rest of the peripherals. For example, in this microprocessor unit, for suppose, if I want to do some external interfacing, like I am having a microprocessor, if I want to connect to some other peripherals, for suppose, So that means I need to have an external ports. Through which external serial ports I can access the external peripherals. So in microprocessor we have to interface with some additional circuitries for providing the functionality of a memory or otherwise I/O ports. I want to provide the functionality of a memory means that definitely the microprocessor unit have to be like interface it with external RAM or external ROM if the memory is not sufficient. Okay. Or if the inbuilt, that means the microprocessor itself is having some inbuilt registers. If that memory is not sufficient, definitely I have to interface with some external RAM or otherwise ROM. Apart from it, this microprocessor unit, we need to have an additional interfacing circuit like 8255, that is programmable peripheral interface. It is doing the functionality of an I/O port. We do have 8255, 8253. This IC is interfaced with 8086 microprocessor to provide the functionality of a timer or a counter circuit. In this way, we are going to interface some other components with this 8086 microprocessor to provide some other external functionality. But coming to my microcontroller, I don't have any extra burden to connect the remaining circuitries. Why? Because all the things are gathered onto a single chip where I am tension free. That means I am here I am having here on-chip memory, I am having on-chip timers or counters, I am having interrupt controllers, serial communication ports, as well as clock circuits, as well as I/O ports also are present inside and in the chip itself only. That is the main difference between the microprocessor as well as the microcontroller. Now coming to the practical application, the microcontroller we can say in our day-to-day life it is present in the washing machine as well as the VCD player, microwave oven is there, and robotics arm. Like for example, you can take the application of a microwave oven. This microwave oven we don't have any microprocessor inside it. We are having only the microcontroller, where this controller will be taking care of all the operations. Since nothing but the microwave oven is dedicated for cooking purpose. So all the things like increasing the temperature or decreasing the temperature or maintaining or controlling, all the things will be taken care by this microcontroller circuit which is present inside this microwave oven. Then in our laptops or in our systems, desktop systems, or coming to your mobile phone, why don't you people are having any microcontroller inside it? The main thing that we need to have a point out here is the microprocessor doesn't have a memory, but we will interface the microprocessor with memories. Okay, for data storage or for programming storage, for storing something of data. But here a microcontroller is equipped with on-chip memory itself. But my question is, will this on-chip memory is sufficient or is this enough to execute a plenty or huge or heavy operations? Definitely no. That's why the microprocessor is present in our mobile phones or in our desktop systems or laptop systems. Why? Because the microcontroller is meant for only doing a task in a certain application. But by using the microprocessor, we can do a many number of applications at many number of times, or at a single time only we can execute a many number of implementations or executions. But this cannot be happen. That is, this microcontroller is meant only for a task that is present for only an application. That is the main difference you can able to notice. So this 8051 microcontroller memory is categorized into on-chip memory as well as off-chip memory. On-chip memory as well as the off-chip memory. Again, this on-chip memory is categorized into RAM as well as ROM. Similarly, in the same manner, the off-chip memory is also divided into RAM as well as the ROM block. Now, as I was saying you continuously that 8051 is an 8-bit microcontroller. This 8-bit microcontroller is having 8-bit of data bus capacity. Data bus capacity is of 8-bit and 16-bit of address lines, or 16-bit address capacity it is having. Now, on-chip RAM is of 128 bytes capacity, and the on-chip ROM is 4 kilobytes of capacity. Coming to the off-chip RAM and off-chip ROM, both are 64 kilobytes of RAM and 64 kilobytes of ROM. memory means we are going to access some location in a given memory unit. That means once if I say this is my block, this is my memory block, if I say this is my RAM block, okay, what is its starting address location and what is its ending address location? Definitely this is RAM is of 128 bytes of data, 128 bytes its capacity. So this 128 bytes is nothing but, can you say it is 2 power of 7? This 2 power of 7 128 bytes, 2 power of 7 bytes. I am going to write like this. Now what is its starting address location and what is its ending address location? That is the thing we have to concentrate here. So if it is my RAM, the starting address location will be 00H. H signifies it is, I am writing in the hexadecimal format. And the ending address location of the RAM is on chip RAM. I am talking about. The ending address location will be 07H. This is hexadecimal. So you might be asking me a question, sir, how we have got this 00H and 07H? That is the doubt. That means 2 power of 7 is there. So just to mark 8 dashes here. 2 power of 7. That means what I will do here is I will write once. How many times? 7 times. Marking here as 0. Now this 0111 is nothing but it is a 7 and 4 ones are nothing but it is F. That is 7FH. H nothing but it is a hexadecimal data. Hexadecimal value of F is 4 ones, hexadecimal value of 7 is 111. Now if it is its ending address location, definitely the starting address location will be going to be, this is the one, right? In this way we have got what is its starting address location and what is its ending address location. In the similar manner we can able to find out what is the ROM. As I have written here 07H, it is not 07, it should be 7FH, which will be the ending address location of the RAM. Now in the similar manner we can able to find out what will be the starting address location of the value and the ending address value for the ROM, which is on chip. Now you people can easily trace it out as 4 kilobytes. I am writing here 4 kilobytes is nothing but, can I write in this manner, 2 power of 2 into 2 power of 10, so which is nothing but 2 power of 12. 2 power of 12 means, let me keep here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Some 16 dashes. So 2 power of 12. Let me fill up all these 12 dashes with ones. 1, 1, 1, 1. And this will be obviously remains as 0. So starting address value of the location will be 40H and the ending address location will be 0FFH. So in this manner we can able to find the starting and as well as the ending address location of on-chip RAM and on-chip ROM. You people can trace it out what will be the starting address location for your external RAM and external ROM. 64 is there. 64 in the sense, can I write it as 2 power of 6 into 10, that is 2 power of 16. 16 means if I have kept here 16 dashes, that means all the 16 dashes will be filled up with ones. Obviously I will be getting for the 64 KB memory, the starting address location will be 40H and the ending address location value will be 4FH. This is what I can able to get it out. Let's discuss about the microcontroller 8051, its architecture as well as the pin diagram and some other remaining important stuff that is related with its memories. Okay.